You can see TP is about to get hit right now. All right, guys, so we passed our 100K challenge. You guys can see we had a 50% win rate. Our average risk reward was 2.96. I used to go for 1-to-1. So now I'm able to use my new system, same conditions, same entry, same stop loss, just a different target. I'm using the higher time frame levels and confluence to increase my risk to reward. So this is way better. And as you can see right here, where it says the average winning trade, 2,268, and the average losing trade, I could pretty much take like 3 losses like this and still be in profit if I just take 1 winner. So it says 8 trades, 4 trading days. So let's look at that real quick. So I started the account in July, but I was still doing the new tweak within my new system. So I was kind of like hesitant with taking trades. So you guys can see I started the account right here. We took a $1,500 win. I kind of risked lower than I usually do. I should have risked 2,000 to make 4,000, but I was still hesitating on the 2-to-1s. I was still taking out with the 1-to-1 at the 5-minute highs and lows, which I'll show you guys after this. So I ended up not taking trades for the rest of that week. The next week, I could have passed a challenge I seen. When I backtested, I seen I could have passed a challenge, but I didn't take any trades. I kind of hesitated with some of those trades. And then the next week after that, I ended up taking a loser trade. I think this was like a pointless trade too. And so I kind of just stopped trading because I was like, okay, let me get back and just keep backtesting and just mastering the system within like the targets and having confidence more. Basically just hold the trades out, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't trade that week. I came in the next week, which is this week. Well, last week I already had like 3 weeks of backtesting in, plus like live testing too. Because you know what I'm saying? I could backtest, that's cool, but I had to live test it too so I can get like the feel of it and the feel of me watching the trade go for the holding it to the 2-to-1, 3-to-1, and not taking out at that 1-to-1, and instead moving my stop loss break even at the 1-to-1. But even then, I probably won't even move it break even at the 1-to-1. So I'm still kind of working through that. I'm still kind of fixing the risk management part of it. But at this point right now, it's pretty solid just with me just holding it to a loss and just cutting out short with my active risk management strategy. If you guys can see that, look at that video, how I turn my 1-to-1s into 2-to-1s. So I'm still using that same system. So with that being said, you guys can see Wednesday came, took a trade. All these trades are pretty much the 2-to-1s, but I ended up making another mistake, not holding that trade. And I had to kind of go back to like the mental game of trading where I kept trading the old system basically and not using the new enhancements that I put on my new system basically. So I ended up coming back Friday. I had a setup. I didn't have a setup Thursday. Friday we had a setup. I took a $500 win or profit for the day, but I didn't take a $500 win. I took a loss of like $1,800 and I took a win of $2,500. But once again, I ended up taking out. I held a little bit longer than 1-to-1, but I didn't hold to the 2-to-1. And that's why I really shouldn't be hesitant, because it's the same exact entry, same exact condition, same exact stop. It's only just a different target. So I'm just holding it for an extra 1R. What I decided to do over the weekend was realizing I'm gonna go for a fixed 2-to-1. So I'm not gonna hold for the 4-hour levels. I'm gonna use the 4-hour levels in confluence, and I'll just do a fixed 2-to-1. So if price can go for 3 to 4 or 5R, I'm still gonna hold for the 2-to-1. So then I came in this week, which is yesterday, Monday, and I risked 2,000. Actually, I risked like 1,800 to make 4,000, as you guys can see right here. And that was a little bit more than a 2-to-1. And I just did that so I can get over the threshold, like the minimum threshold for like the target, which is $8,000 on account, 8%. I should have been past the challenge. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but I was doing these new tweaks. So what you guys can see right here is patience, 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 patience. You don't see me taking multiple trades. You see me taking one trade, and the one trade is banger trades. Even after a loss, usually this is when either you have fear of being wrong or you know you're profitable, you start getting like overconfident and you're like, okay, I took a loss, but I know I can make it back. I'm gonna just try to hunt for setups. I ended up combating that feeling and I let myself just sit with the loss. The system works. I gotta just stay consistent. All right, guys. So look at my chart real quick. So now I'm gonna erase it and I wanna show you guys how we got to this point. I'm gonna give you guys a full strategy breakdown on US30. Let's get into it. We have our 5-minute pre-session highs and lows. This is London, 2 to 8 a.m. and we're trading at 9:30 open. We mark our highs and we have our lows. So what are we looking for? We are looking for a condition, entry, stop, and target. I want to show you guys how I got my full analysis. At 9:30, price was just reacting to the level. There was no breakout at this point. The price was just ranging between the pre-session highs and lows. Go to the daily chart, and at the daily chart, I don't really see anything. We see this breakout that happened a week ago. We see price give us this like pullback here to the support line. So we have a support right here. So that's all we can see. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. So in the 4-hour, I can see price, they gave us this impulse, and then they have this like the supply and demand zone. Price ended up coming out, consolidating, and then giving us this pullback to the zone where you can see price give us a setup candle. Why did we trade against the trend? I'm gonna show you guys. The daily chart was trending up. The 4-hour chart is trending up, but you guys can see on the 4-hour chart, this is where the day came in at. We have consolidation. So we marked that down, 4-hour consolidation. Plus we can see price came up to this head, and we can put the 4-hour supply and demand zone in here. So where do we want to take it to? We can scalp and we can do a reverse supply and demand play where we see price hit this zone. This is the first pullback, price goes up. We want to hit the second pullback. What did price do? Price ended up actually coming at this level. As I see today I didn't trade, but I can see that today price came to this level, gave us a reaction. Price never went below the setup candle. So it shows price wanted to go up. So price was just retesting. And that's what we were playing. We're playing the reverse supply and demand retest. That is one of my strategies in my playbook. So let's go to the 1-hour chart. Let me break this down with you guys. So you can see price bounce right here. You can see we have a 4-hour level right here. Let's mark our 4-hour. So it's like neat and organized, because when you're going up on these higher time frames and you're using multiple charts, it can kind of get sloppy. So you want to stay organized. Stay organized so you don't confuse yourself. We're on the 1-hour chart. We can see price consolidating at this 4-hour level, which we can see was a head and shoulders. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart. You guys can see this head and shoulders. Price went up, gave us a shoulder. Price went up, gave it down, pulled back. This was it. We were anticipating the shoulder, of course, and we see that that's what it was doing. So you go back to the hour chart. Where are you targeting when you're going against the trend? So this is what made this a valid counter trend play, because daily chart is trending. The 4-hour chart is pulling back to a supply and demand zone, and it's showing a reversal pattern, which is a head and shoulders. Plus it has a 4-hour consolidation. Plus we have a 1-hour consolidation. Plus we have a 5-minute pre-session breakout. So when it broke out this 5-minute pre-session, it broke out the 4-hour and it broke out the 1-hour. So all 3 time frames were in confluence. So what do? We look for that 5-minute pullback. After we get the breakout, you can see it's a 5-minute supply zone, because all I do is trade supply and demand. As soon as I got this candle, took our entry, looking for a bearish candle, and I was holding for a 1 to 2. So I held for a 1 to 2, and you can see this is that supply and demand zone. So we go to the 4-hour chart, you can see price came, wicks this zone before going back up and continuing in the direction that it wanted to go in. Personally, I look for a 2 to 1 within the zone. So yes, I could have held to the lows and got like a 4 or like a 4.5 hour trade like this, and anticipate the supply and demand stop out or wick out. But I'm just going for the 2 to 1. You know what I'm saying? It helps me better. That's what I realized. Have a better chance of holding with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take out earlier. Plus I still get a good run rate, and it works. You know what I'm saying? It works. So I don't really need to do anything more. I was going for a 1-to-1 before, but I just, it would kind of it'll make me eager and anxious when I'm funded, but like I know I'm risking 2%, so I only get a couple chances to really before I blow the account, and it kind of just threw me off. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of wanted to get this 2 to 1. I was going for 3 hours, 4 hours, but now I'm kind of just focusing on the 2 to 1. You guys can see this is the US 30 full strategy breakdown from top to bottom, starting from the daily chart, going to the 4-hour, going to the 1-hour, finally going to the 5-minute chart, looking for those entries. And you can see that is our condition: entry, stop, and target. So what is our condition? We have a breakout on the 4-hour, 1-hour, and the 5-minute, all in confluence, even though the daily is on the uptrend. Then our entry, we go to the 5-minute, we're at the 5-minute, we get that pullback at the supply and demand zone, and we're looking for a candle. You guys can see this bearish candle right here. Nice bearish candle, beautiful. Our stop loss is above that candle, and then our target is the 2 to 1. We're targeting within the range of our 4-hour levels. And that's basically it. I first showed you guys how my charts look, and then it looks like that all over again. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to show you guys that, to show you guys the authenticity, and to show you guys I'm not just drawing random lines on the chart. You know what I'm saying? All these lines are coming from a specific, or being placed at specific zones and key areas on the chart that you could implement. So that's it for the video. If you guys have any questions, you guys already know, comment down below, subscribe, like, take a risk.